We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
It's time to buckle up for making sense of the madness.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here. And every once in a while, we get into stories that I like to frame as monsters truly walk among us. Because when we get into the abuse of children, specifically, and the serial abuse of children, unthinkable things being done to them, there is almost a universal disgust by the vast majority of the general populace, as the vast majority of the general populace still thinks that we need to protect kids from predators and monsters. And I have often espoused how the system seems to have this inbuilt mechanism where they do not treat the abuse of children as they do the abuse of an adult in a criminal manner. What do I mean by this? Well, obviously, if you get convicted of sexual assault or the rape of a grown woman, that essentially carries a very, very, very long prison sentence, as it should. But for some reason, there have been these loopholes built in where you have had people convicted of the molestation of multiple children. They serve a minor sentence and then are released. And we've also seen, when we're talking about people in power, whether that be in religious or political power, especially amongst the Catholic Church in general, people helping that cover up to the point that some never even get prosecuted and instead are moved around to continue to abuse children. Now, the two stories we're going to get into today essentially have two things in common. They have an internet element to them, and then they have a child abuse element to them. However, they are being handled completely differently. And now I'm not saying there is not a vast difference in what the allegations and charges are, and there's a trial in one of these with a massive conviction. But we're going to talk about a sting that recently took place in Vegas, and it netted a number of individuals. I believe it was 8 arrests. One of them, an Israeli cybersecurity official that was in Vegas for the Black Hat Conference. Now, if you guys have been watching the show, you might remember we talked about DEF CON and the Black Hats and the White Hats and cybersecurity, and Israeli firms in particular being able to hack ChatGPT with one stroke. Remember that? Isn't it odd that these same seemingly unrelated topics overlap? So the grotesque situation that we have is this individual was charged, was released on $10,000 bail, and then allowed to go back to Israel. Let's see if he ever comes back on felony charges in the United States. So we're going to get into that. And then we're going to get into a couple, when you really want to talk about monsters, where a woman was using the internet to advertise for babysitting, would then get jobs, and then not only serve these children up to her boyfriend for abuse, but then tape that. Monsters really, really do walk among us, okay? And these things, unfortunately, are happening every single day somewhere in this country. Around the world, oh my goodness. But I'm a big, firm believer in cleaning up your own backyard. However, when other people come into your backyard and then do something like this, you don't just let them go. And there are just so many disturbing aspects to that. We're going to get into all of them. I need you to thumbs this up, subscribe, share. If you are in the live stream giving comments, thank you so much. But give a comment down below. And if you are able to support this broadcast, I want to say it again. I'll say it loud and proud. Cannot do it without you. I want to thank Cindy for her generous donation just today. Boz and others. If you don't like the Buy Me a Coffee, I've got a PayPal down below, $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. I'm sure that you will see at least one of these stories in the alternative media, but both I'm not so sure. Give me a follow on X. That's where you can find all the stories we cover here, basically not only in this format, but in their raw format, so you can click the links, and a bunch of stories that we do not get to cover. So let's get into it. WikiLeaks is where I found this one. Now, out of the gates, when it initially happened, Israeli officials were denying that the man in the middle, I think it's actually Artyom, but he goes by Tom Alexandrovic, the executive director of the Defense Division of Israeli International Cybersecurity. Okay? He's their director. He's their cyber director. Now, I saw this, and, again, I didn't want to break out my jump to conclusions, Matt. There were the denials over there. This is the official Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Okay? Those arrested were David Wanacott Yankai, 40, Tom Artyom Alexandrovic, 38, Jose Albert Perez Torres, 35, Aniket, I'm not even going to try that, so Sadani, 23. It would seem that most of these people, if you're looking at these names, are out-of-towners, maybe not all of them. They all face felony charges of luring a child with a computer for a sex act and were booked at the Henderson Detention Center, with the exception of Duncan, who was booked at Clark County Detention Center. So they all got booked. Okay, every single one of them, including this guy. Now, The Guardian, to their credit, has a pretty extensive article on the piece. Let's get into it. An Israeli government cybersecurity official was arrested recently by Las Vegas PD and other authorities in Nevada, who were conducting an undercover investigation aimed at online users seeking to sexually prey on children. Tom Artyom Alexandrovic, 38, faces felony charges of luring a child with a computer for a sex act, along with several other suspects who were apprehended during a 2-week sting operation, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department said in a statement. So, in the actual sting itself, we don't have a ton of details, but they said that he has since been released from custody on a $10,000 bail, okay, and records show he has returned to Israel. How about that? As first reported by the news site Mediaite, a publicly posted screenshot of Alexandrovic's page on LinkedIn described him as the executive director of the Israel Cyber Directorate, an Israeli government agency under the purview of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office. He's in with Bibi. Isn't that lovely? Other information online attributes the same position to Alexandrovic. The screenshot, first reported by media, also showed a post under Alexandrovic's name, alluding to having been in Las Vegas earlier in August for the Black Hat briefings, a yearly meeting of cybersecurity professionals. Again, we were talking about the Black Hats, the White Hats, DEF CON, all of it, and Vegas. 2 things you can't escape at Black Hat 2025. This is what Alexandrovic posted. The relentless buzz of generative artificial intelligence, AGIs, folks, and the sound of Hebrew in every corridor. Alexandrovic wrote in part in an accompanying post invoking an abbreviation for large language models and referring to one of Israel's largest cities, the post confirmed. The key takeaway? The future of cybersecurity is being written in code, and it seems significant part of it is being authored in Tel Aviv and powered by LLMs. An exciting time to be in the field. So there he's talking about AI, Israel, their relations. We've talked about this in the past. And remember, Palantir here in the U.S. Worked with the Israelis with their lavender program, et cetera, et cetera. Right at the hip. Right at the hip. Israeli officials downplayed the incident, saying it carried no political implications and was resolved quickly. Without naming Alexandrovic or mentioning he had been arrested in connection with a felony charge leveled against him by Nevada law enforcement officials, the reasons for the questioning remain unclear, but may relate to the employer's conduct or employee's conduct. Yannette reported early on Saturday evening U.S. Eastern Time that Alexandrovic was on leave from Cybersecurity Directorate by a mutual decision. The outlet also said that the Cyber Directorate claimed the earlier information about Alexandrovic was accurate based on what had been provided to the agency. A state employee who traveled to the U.S. for professional matters was questioned by American authorities during his stay, the Prime Minister's office said. The employee, who does not hold a diplomatic visa, was not arrested and returned to Israel as scheduled, but he was arrested, and he was charged, and he was allowed to leave. We're going to be keeping an eye on this one, of course. And then there's this one. Okay? So I want to reiterate my tweet right here. The only reason that woman cried in court is because she got caught and what's happening to her specifically. This is a true monster, a demon. Okay? And I don't use that term lightly. And I'm not trying to be ironic. I'm not trying to even invoke it as some kind of, as a religious thing. Monsters walk among us. And the hell that these kids, disabled kids, went through because of this woman. I'm just glad in this case we did get some kind of real justice. Let's play the clip.
A North County babysitter guilty of taking part in the molestation of 4 girls has been sentenced to 100 years to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
We're talking about 31-year-old Brittany Lyon. Back in 2021, her boyfriend, Samuel Cabrera Jr., was sentenced to multiple terms of life without parole after he was found guilty on several counts of child molestation, kidnapping, burglary, and conspiracy. The 2 were also charged for allegedly molesting multiple girls while Lyon videotaped the crimes. Today, family members of those victims confronted Lyon in court, calling her a monster.
The defendant is a monster. There's just no other way to describe it. Absolute monster for the havoc that she's wreaked upon our society, upon our citizens. It's deplorable, it's disgusting. But it's over today.
Prosecutors say Lyon found babysitting jobs on care.com, which is an online platform that connects families with caregivers. Prosecutors also say Lyon and Cabrera would often assault the young girls inside their own home.
It's a real monster right there. You're looking at it. And I'm just glad that some justice was served. But again, this shows you. I mean, we didn't even cover that awful story about the compound in the woods where the people were going to, abuse a victim that they had kidnapped. I mean, grotesque on so many levels. I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Folks, you know the drill. Thumbs it up, subscribe, share, comment down below. Please check out all the documentary films. They are free. Invisible Empire, A New World Order, Defined Shade, the motion picture. Those are my large-scale films. And then, of course, 9/11, its anniversary is coming up. In fact, you know what? I am going to be speaking. I can't make it to D.C. Honestly, I don't have the funds or the time right now. Like I said, we're really trying to scrape it all together. But I will be speaking at Turning the Tide virtually. And this is a jam-packed event down in D.C. from Wednesday to Friday with people like Dennis Kucinich, Kurt Weldon, Ron Johnson, John Kiriakou. I mean, this is an all-star lineup. I'm going to be speaking, I believe it is 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. Very, very excited about that. Turning the Tide, 9/11 Justice in 2025. If you can make it down to D.C., that is going to be well worth your time. I'd love to be able to do it. But I also do need your support. Like I said, if there were paychecks, just for people to understand, okay, when I did the Reawaken America tour, and I think, I don't know, at least 7 or 8 of them, maybe up to 10 of them, not one time did I get paid. Zero. I got paid $0. Not a per diem. No one took care of my travel costs, my gas, my hotels, all out of pocket. And I was happy to do it. Very happy to do it because I had paychecks. Patriot TV, Today's News Talk, RVM at one time, Red Voice Media. That was a great time period. That's over. I want to keep doing this. I hope you want me to do this as well. So please consider supporting me. We got the Buy Me a Coffee, and then the PayPal is also down below. I do want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart that has supported me in the past and continues to do so. As you know, guys, it is not about left or right. It is always about right and wrong. I absolutely love you guys, and I will see you all on the flip side.